Once upon a time, in a dense and mysterious forest, stood a lonely wooden house. The forest was known to be haunted, with tales of strange occurrences and creepy creatures that lurked in the shadows. Most people avoided venturing into this dark and foreboding place, but there was one individual who found himself lost within its depths. His name was Ethan, a fearless and adventurous young man who had always been drawn to the unknown. On this fateful day, curiosity had led him into the heart of the forbidden forest. As the sun began to set, casting an eerie glow through the dense canopy above, Ethan realized he had lost his way. The forest seemed to come alive with whispers and rustling leaves as he searched for a way out. The air grew thick with an unsettling silence, broken only by the occasional hoot of an owl or the distant howl of a wolf. It was then that Ethan noticed a faint flickering of a dim light in the distance. Desperate for shelter and a sense of direction, he made his way towards it. As he approached, the wooden house came into view. It stood weathered and worn, its windows cracked and covered in dust. Ethan hesitated, a feeling of unease creeping over him, but with darkness closing in, he knew he had no other choice but to seek refuge within its walls. The door creaked open as Ethan cautiously stepped inside. The inside of the house was as eerie as the forest itself, with cobwebs adorning the corners and an unsettling stillness that hung in the air. He couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched. Ignoring his instincts, Ethan decided to explore the house in hopes of finding a map or any sign that could lead him back to safety. Room by room, he ventured deeper into the house's mysterious interior, but the further he went, the more he felt an inexplicable presence growing stronger. Suddenly, a bone-chilling growl echoed through the house. Ethan's heart raced as he turned to face the source of the sound. In the dim light, he caught a glimpse of a grotesque creature lurking in the shadows. Its eyes glowed with an otherworldly intensity, and its twisted form sent shivers down his spine. Fear consumed Ethan as he realized he was now alone in this forsaken house. The creature moved closer, its menacing growls growing louder with each step. Panic set in as he frantically searched for an escape route, but the creature seemed to anticipate his every move, blocking every path. Realizing that he had no chance against this malevolent creature, Ethan's mind raced with regret and fear. The forest had claimed him, just as it had claimed countless others before him. Ethan's heart raced as he turned to face the source of the sound. In the dim light, he caught a glimpse of a grotesque creature lurking in the shadows. Its eyes glowed with an otherworldly intensity, and its twisted form sent shivers down his spine. Fear gripped Ethan's entire being as he realized he was now alone in this house. The growl seemed to reverberate through the walls, making it impossible to determine the creature's exact location. He knew he had to keep moving, but every step felt heavier than before. With each room he entered, the atmosphere grew more oppressive, as if the very air was thick with malevolence. The walls seemed to close in around him, casting sinister shadows that danced along the floors and ceilings. Ethan's mind raced, desperately trying to come up with a plan of escape. As he cautiously made his way through the house, he noticed peculiar symbols etched onto the walls. They seemed to pulsate with an eerie energy, as if they were a gateway to another realm. Ethan's curiosity mixed with his trepidation, compelling him to examine them closer. However, a voice deep within warned him against meddling with forces he could not comprehend. Ignoring the voice, Ethan reached out to trace the intricate patterns. As his fingertips grazed the symbols, a surge of energy coursed through his body. Visions flooded his mind, revealing the dark history of the house and the malevolent presence that dwelled within. The growl resounded once again, closer this time, snapping Ethan back to reality. He knew he couldn't afford to waste any more time. Determined to escape the clutches of the creature, he resumed his search for an exit. Each room he explored seemed to hold its own secrets, its own horrors. The house seemed to be a labyrinth of nightmares, purposely designed to ensnare unwary souls. But Ethan's determination burned brighter than ever, fueling his resolve to find a way out. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Ethan stumbled upon a door that led to the outside. He could almost taste the freedom that awaited him beyond those wooden barriers. With a surge of adrenaline, he threw the door open and burst out into the night. Gasping for breath, Ethan took a moment to collect himself. He looked back at the house, standing ominously in the darkness. Even from a distance, He could still feel its malevolence radiating through the air, but he had escaped its clutches, and that was what mattered. As he walked away, Ethan couldn't shake off the feeling that the house's secrets still lingered within him. The encounter with the grotesque creature and the disturbing symbols etched into the walls had left an indelible mark on his psyche. He knew he would never be the same again. As Ethan stepped through the door, a rush of cold night air greeted him, instantly invigorating his senses. The moon cast an eerie glow over the surrounding landscape, illuminating the path ahead. He took a deep breath, savoring the taste of freedom that lingered in the air. With each step he took, Ethan could feel the weight of the house's oppressive presence slowly dissipating. The darkness that had clung to him like a suffocating shroud was gradually replaced by a glimmer of hope. The outside world beckoned to him, promising a chance to leave the nightmares behind. As he ventured further away from the house, Ethan's mind began to clear. The nightmare-like memories of the house's corridors and hidden chambers started to fade, replaced by a newfound determination to escape its clutches once and for all. The night was still and silent, save for the distant rustling of leaves and the occasional hoot of an owl. Ethan's heart pounded in his chest, a constant reminder of the risks he was taking, but he knew that the alternative, remaining trapped within the house's labyrinthine walls, was far worse. Guided by the faint glow of the moon, Ethan pressed on. He followed a winding path that led him deeper into the surrounding woods, his footsteps echoing through the stillness of the night. The trees whispered secrets as he passed, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers, urging him to keep moving. Though uncertainty lingered, Ethan refused to waver. He had come too far, endured too much, to give up now. The hardships he had faced within the house had only strengthened his resolve, igniting a fire within him that refused to be extinguished. Hours seemed to pass as Ethan continued his treacherous journey through the darkness, but just as his hope began to wane, a faint glimmer of light appeared in the distance. It flickered like a distant star, promising salvation from the nightmare he had left behind. As he drew closer, the glimmer transformed into a warm, inviting glow. It emanated from a small cottage nestled amongst the trees, its windows aglow with the promise of safety and refuge. Ethan's steps quickened, his heart filled with a mixture of relief and anticipation. Reaching the cottage, Ethan hesitated for a moment before gently knocking on the door. It swung open, revealing a kindly old woman who smiled at him with understanding eyes. Without a word, she gestured for him to come inside, offering him a chance to leave the horrors of the house behind and begin anew. As Ethan stepped over the threshold, he felt a weight lift off his shoulders. The cottage became a sanctuary, a place where nightmares could no longer reach him, and as he settled into a chair by the crackling fireplace, he knew that he had finally escaped the clutches of the house, leaving behind the labyrinth of nightmares that had threatened to consume him. Thank you so much for joining us on Horror Tales. We hope you enjoyed diving into the depths of horror with us today. If you're hungry for more bone-chilling stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, so you never miss an update.